All right, the last problems mostly deal with money and compound interest. So this is the formula for compound interest, where A is the final amount, P is your principal, R is your rate as a decimal, K is the number of times you compound per year, and then T is the number of years. So that's your compound interest formula. So with the first one, it says I invest $8,000, so that's how much I invest, at a 5.9%, so that's 0.059 is my R value. It's compounded monthly, so that means N is 12, or K, I guess, is 12. How long will it take until it grows to 15,000? So I have to solve for T. So that's how much it's compounded monthly. That's my rate, my initial amount, and I want to know when it gets to 15,000. So to solve that equation, I divide by 8,000, and I just know those thousands will go away, so I don't have to worry about them. Take the common log of both sides, so it's a log of 15 over 8 equals the log of all of this. I use the power property, bring the 12t out in front. So to solve for t, t is right here, I had to divide by 12, and I had to divide by this logarithm. So when I put this in my calculator, I take the log of 15/8, hit enter, I divide by 12, hit enter, and then I divide by 1 log of that. So I kind of do it in steps. I take this, I divide by the 12, hit enter, and then I divide by the log. So I got t is 10.68, so I just rounded that to 10.7 years. So that's the compound interest formula. 15, same thing, it's using that same formula, only this time you're given the initial amount is 8,500. It wants to know what the rate would be so that I would triple my money. So I had to take 8,500 and triple it. I got 25,500. I don't know my rate. It is compounded monthly, so the K value is 12, and I know I want to triple it in 6 years, so my time is 6. So time is 6, compounded monthly. I don't know the rate, that's what I'm solving for. Initial amount, and that's triple the initial amount. So I divided by 8,500, I got 3. To solve this, I don't need logarithms because I have my exponent is not a variable. So to get rid of this all raised to the 72nd, I can raise it to the 1 over 72nd power. So then I'm just left with this raised to the first power. I have 3 to the 1 over 72nd power. So to solve for r, I just subtracted 1, and then I multiply both sides by 12. So what I'm going to punch in my calculator is just 3 raised to the parentheses 1 divided by 72, subtract 1, hit enter, and then multiply by 12. I got 0.1845, which is 18.45%, which is a lot. You probably aren't going to get anything that will give you 18.45%. On the back, the 2 in the back are also finance problems, but they ask you for the APY. So remember, the APY is just, if I took, we're really kind of thinking of, we don't care about the amount, so you could think of it as being $1, and we're going to invest this money for a year. So whatever that is, we're going to use the formula for this for a year. So the amount doesn't matter because the amounts on both sides would cancel out. So I'm going to take 1 plus my interest rate of 0.06, compounded quarterly, so over 4, raised to the 4th, and we're only doing it for a year, so that would be 4 times 1, so it's just 4. Okay, so because it's a year, that's why this is K times T, so 4 times 1 is 4. Over here, I just would take 1 plus X, because again, I'm raising it to the T power, but if T is 1, I don't have to worry about raising it to the first power. So really, to solve for X, all I need to do is take this amount and subtract 1. So I just throw it in my calculator. I got 0.0614, so that'd be 6.14%. That would be the APY. That's what the banks would have to report out to you, if that's what they're giving you. 17, a little bit different because this one says it's compounded continuously. So then you have to say, okay, if I had that, amount, again, the amount doesn't matter, my initial amount. If it's compounded continuously, I take e raised to the RT power. This is my R value. Remember, t is 1 because I'm doing it for 1 year because it's annual. So e raised to that R, and then t is 1 has to equal 1 plus x. So I subtract 1 from that as well. So I just throw this in my calculator, subtract the 1. Here's what I got. So that would be 4.29% would be the APY. Okay, so that's how you find the APY. It's just look at this. Don't worry about the amount in front because there would be an amount on each of these sides that would go away. And if it's continuous, I have to use the PERT, so it would be e raised to the RT power. If it's compounded continuously, it's 1 plus r over k raised to the kt, but again, since t is 1, it's just raised to the k power. Okay, and then the last two, I just threw a couple formulas at you that maybe you haven't seen before, but you should be able to use. So you should be able to read this, and it says C is the amount in grams of carbon-14 present in a certain substance after T years. Okay, so C is the amount in grams, T is the time in years. When, so you're looking for T, will the amount left be 10 grams? So I set that C value equal to 10. I just have to solve that equation. Divide by 20, so I get a half. Again, this is exponential, so I would put it in log form, log base e, so natural log of 1/2 equals your exponent. So natural log of 1/2 equals that exponent. Divide by the coefficient. I got 5,720.22. I just rounded it to 5,700 years. Again, it said t was in years, so be careful with the label. Okay, so given any function, and if I tell you what those things are, you should be able to answer the question. Same with this one. It's a pH. pH equation, so I give you the equation right here. The pH is equal to negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration at H+. Okay, so if stomach acid has a pH of 2, so I put in the pH equals 2, find the hydrogen ion concentration. So in other words, find H+. So I just put in 2, the pH equals negative log of H+. So how do you solve that? You first have to get rid of that negative. So I just divided both sides by -1. Then it's in log form. I put it in exponential form. Log base 10, because that's a common log. So 10 raised to the -2 equals H. So 10 to the -2 is 1/100th. Did the same thing over here. For blood. Blood has a pH of 7.4. So I divided by -1. 10 raised to the -7.4 has to equal H. So when I put that on my calculator, 10 raised to the -7.4, I got 3.98 times 10 to the -8th power. So that's all that was looking for. Okay, so another part of the test would be that I could give you any kind of a equation that you should be able to plug things in and then solve for the given variable. So that wraps up the worksheet. If you have questions, we can go over them in class, or make sure you email me if you have any questions.